Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Frances. I am the CEO and Managing Director for NUMA New York. And with me today, I also have our Acceleration Program Director, Giulia Imperatrice.
Hi everyone. Nice to be here.
Awesome. So today we're going to walk through a little bit about what NUMA is and what we do in New York. And go over our programs and activities that we have for international startups all around the world. So what is NUMA? NUMA is a global brand originally founded in Paris, France, but operating in several countries around the world that has a focus on developing educational programs specifically, especially in New York, for international startups coming from all over the world, as well as large multinational corporations like Google, Samsung, IBM. Our offerings include a 10-week soft landing accelerator program where we're really focused on US market entry for international growth stage startups. We also have a virtual program that we'll talk more about in a bit that we're delivering this summer for early stage companies. We also run learning expeditions that expose corporate leaders to different industry trends through inspiring programming and networking with leaders and experts in specific industries, and as well as executive training programs where we upskill and train both managers and employees on new workforce methodologies, such as remote work, which we are all now becoming accustomed to. Why New York City? We get asked this question a lot on what is the opportunity to come to New York City versus SF. New York is a really blooming ecosystem with over 1.4 trillion in economic activity. It's a business capital of the world. So if you're a company that's really looking to do business development in the States, it's a huge opportunity. The New York City startup ecosystem is valued at 71 billion and is ranked second globally for startup output. We have more than 9,000 startups in New York with 200 plus co-working spaces, 100 plus accelerators. There's so much innovation happening in New York. And in 2019, New York was ranked first globally for funding availability and quality. So there's plenty of VC capital here in addition to your customers, and it is the headquarter for many Fortune 100. So again, coming back to who your customers are, making that decision to be in New York versus SF. A little bit about us by the numbers. So our program is really focused on high quality mentorship and connecting to different international networks. We have over 500 mentors and international experts from around the world. We've accelerated globally over 550 startups. That number is over 50, I believe now, in New York City for our New York program. We get over 1,000 startup applications per year. We run globally over 150 plus innovation projects across 15 different fields of expertise. We are sort of at the center of this. We bring together communities, startups, and corporations. The startups is our DNA. That is the core of what we do. That is what we love. But a big piece of that is also connecting our startups to our corporates, helping them innovate and be more agile, and then focusing on education and how we're developing the workforces of the future, both for startups and for corporates. These are just a small sampling of the corporates in our network. And I'll pass it on to Giulia to take us through more details on our programs.
Thank you, Frances. And as we're all here today to hear about how to grow and scale internationally, that's exactly what is our focus in New York with our programming for startups. And that's why we say grow your startup in the US market, because really the core here that we have for the 10-week long program, which is our fundamental program that we run 3 times per year, is to support post Series A and Series B startups that are looking to enter the US market. We have ongoing support with our team, but as well as our mentors. We make daily connection to mentors from across different industries to the startups in the program. And we have educational sessions every week during the 10 weeks to support their growth in the US. The program is structured in 3 phases. So the first stage is between week 1 and 3. We have a lot of learning session, and we call this part setup and immersion, because we really want to make sure that you get all the fundamentals to jumpstart your sales, your marketing campaigns, and understand the ecosystem in New York. And we have our very first networking event at the beginning of the program, which is our Mentors Happy Hour, where we gather together our mentor community and introduce them to all of the startups in the program. In the second phase of the program, we have customized introductions to potential customers, as well as investors or experts in the industry where the startup are coming from, to support business development mostly. And this is the core of what we do. Is we only select 6 startups per batch, and the purpose of our selection is really to make sure that there's alignment between the corporates that we have in the network and the startups participating in the program. And the last part of the program, I call it execute and scale, because at this point you have all the instruments and network connection to really make the program the beginning of your international expansions in the US. And at this point, we review your roadmap for the months after the program, as well as redefining your pipeline and support the closing of the most important deals. During the program, there are weekly events like networking with your cohort peers. We have happy hours with our network of mentors that are more informal, and networking also with the NUMA team. But we also have 2 other additional events, which are VC breakfast, where we introduce our startups in the program to the VC network. And the last event at the end of the program, which is our version of a demo day called Industry Night, where we have around 150 participants coming not only from the VC world, but also from the corporate network. The key activities, as I described, are mostly learning. So we want to make sure that you get all the tools, resources, instruments, but also learning contents to really align your strategy at a global level, but also networking and sell. It's very important to not only seek for investments as you're growing your business, but also have the right customer introduction to make sure that you move forward from both a business perspective and a funding perspective. This summer is going to be special because, as you all know, we are all under lockdown and travel is going to be very hard. We hope to welcome a lot of companies in New York very soon, but for the moment, we want to be supportive as well. So we have developed an additional program on top of our traditional one that is going to be entirely delivered virtually. It's still in 3 stages, but we call them modules because they're focusing on a specific topic. The first module that we're going to run is from June 22nd to July 3rd, 2020, and it's going to be focused on marketing. We want to make sure that all companies across industries from any geography that are looking to expand in the US market, even if they are seed or pre-seed, so we're opening the market not only to growth stage, but also to more early stage companies, get the right resources to start understanding the US market from a marketing perspective. So defining your customer persona, understanding how to run a marketing campaign here, review your assets and debts, and have by the end of the module a concrete marketing plan. Our second module is fundraising, and it's gonna run from July 6th till July 17th. The fundraising module really has the objective of not only introducing you to the right people in the network through the final event that is a roundtable with VCs in the NUMA network, but also to prepare you to future conversations. So any startup really looking to raise in the US, either a seed or a Series A round or a Series B, that has never explored the VC market here before, is a good potential alumni for this module, because we are going to provide learning session directly from VCs in our network, and we're going to review assets as well as have peer reviews between the cohort member. And we're going to address also what is the environment given the COVID-19 situation and what VCs are looking at this point. Our last module is sales. So for any startup looking to develop their business here, specifically clients. So from a business development perspective, we are gonna have a module that is focused on sales strategies, and it's both inbound and outbound sales strategies, but also how to equip your team if you're working from another country, who should be in charge of your sales pipeline in the US, should be agencies, or how to recruit that team, everything that is really involved into the sales process to make sure that you do have the right instruments once you make the jump into this market.
And I just want to say one thing about the virtual program. I think for me, it's super excited that we're going to be running this virtual program because we've been so successful in supporting these growth stage companies in coming to the US, but we're only able to take a small number at a time. And, you know, we've always thought, are there ways we can support more international companies around the world even earlier to be thinking about, you know, their long-term growth and vision and expansion into, you know, their global markets like the US. And this is, you know, I think a fantastic opportunity that we've had to be able to design something specifically for companies so we can support even more companies with their growth and expansion.
Exactly. And also from a networking perspective, I forgot to mention that we're going to run this program on a platform where we have our entire network on board. So both from all the investors in the NUMA community, but also all the mentors and experts that are here in New York and in other cities in the US. They're all going to be present on the platform. And once you graduate from each of these modules or all three of them, you're going to be able to access all of that community as well, which is at the core of what we do is really building successful communities.
We have great people.
And we love people. And these are the alumni that Francis was mentioning. We have more than 50 now just in New York. They all went through our program and they're coming from 17 geographies, if I'm not wrong, actually 18. I think we added one more.
18, we added a new country last cohort.
Yeah. And we're looking to recruit more, so yes.
Great. So this is our team. Again, I'm the CEO and managing director. I've been with the New York office since we opened 3 years ago. Alyssa is our innovation program manager. So she is working closely with our corporates and the programs that we run with them, which become really good opportunities always in the future for our startups and is how we build our corporate network. Giulia, who you know, who's our acceleration program director, running the day-to-days of the programs, engaging with the startups, making sure that everyone has what they need. And Shai, who works very closely with her, is our acceleration program manager. And so this is a extremely dedicated team, and currently right now all female. So a bit about our success stories. So you know, we have at this point now close to 50 alumni startups. We are actually selecting for our 8th cohort. So this slide is not correct. So we've had a ton of startups that we've supported in New York City. The average amount that they have raised is about 2.5 million. And now we're at 18 different nationalities. And so it's the thing that is our bread and butter and has been, you know, the thing that we've been most focused on since we opened in New York. And on the other side, working with our corporates, we do a number of learning expeditions for Google every year where we bring alongside Google, you know, 30 to 90 C-level executives of different corporations at a time. So these are things focused on, you know, we've done them on retail, media, ed tech, banking and finance, which is a huge industry in New York, where we bring together different speakers. And whenever we have an opportunity to showcase our alumni portfolio, no matter how long it's been since they've graduated, if they are relevant for our corporates, we want to be putting them forward first and foremost. So it's you know, a core component that supports the accelerator. And thank you. If you have any questions for Giulia and I, we're happy to answer them. And I'm sure that right now a lot of people have questions on how things are going in New York. And, you know, we're happy to also discuss those things with you because New York is, you know, still a really great place to be.
And just shoot us an email at francis.f@numa.co. And we're gonna answer them. Also, I wanted to thank Paul for the opportunity of speaking with all of you today, and we look forward to meeting startups in person, as we're gonna come to Newcastle in September, hopefully, or whenever it's gonna be possible.
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.